It's Sunday afternoon and it's time for NZV8 TV, voted New Zealand's best V8 entertainment show, as voted by me and a couple of the boys here in the studio. Today's trivia question is, what's the average fuel consumption of a top fuel dragster in 1 quarter-mile pass? Have a think about that while you watch NZV8 TV. Brought to you by Smiths Group, suppliers of leading automotive brands. Newlon, Maguire's, House of Colour, Spice Hecker, and a whole lot of other stuff to keep your V8 shiny, cool and fast. Not quite standard? Well, neither are NAC Insurance. They understand. NAC.co.nz. NZV8 gets dirty and top sprint car driver Carl Wilson shows us all about how to handle 900 horsepower on the dirt. We're back for a second look at the recent Mopar Connection Club Day at Meremere. The summer of drag racing is about to get underway with the Century Yuasa Power Series. And last weekend, Fram Autolite Dragway put on their annual Test and Tune Day, where top competitors can come along as a final chance to, believe it or not, test and tune their cars before going head-on into full competition. Racing and summer are two words you're going to hear a lot of on today's show. And the racing certainly got started with the National Circuit Racing and Speedway Champs well underway. Today we look ahead to the start of the drag racing season, one form of motorsport that hopes that summer plays its part and turns on the good weather. Alright, we admit it. We're well into our second series of NZV8 TV and we've completely ignored the Speedway fraternity. So now we're going to make up for it because sprint cars are without doubt one of the most exciting, entertaining forms of V8 powered motorsport anywhere in the world. 650 kilograms of 900 plus horsepower sprint car on the dirt is a wild ride indeed. So we took a trip to Spring Speedway and caught up with front-runner Carl Wilson, who told us what sprint cars are all about.
Hi there, my name's Carl Wilson. I drive a Sprint Car 56, sponsored by Marley, PDL, Chester's, J. Russell Power Base and DeWalt. The Sprint Car section races at Western Springs 12 times a year. It's a dirt quarter mile. The cars are all mostly American. Our goal last season was to win the track championship. Winning the track championship is points on every single meeting. And we did that. By doing that, we believe that we're going to be obviously the best throughout the whole entire season. We've also won the national championship a few years ago, which is a one-night championship. So to have won both of them, we're just over the moon. They're a 410 cubic inch motor. Most of them are aluminium shevs. They run on methanol, naturally aspirated. Most of them are Hillborn style. There's different brands on the market today, but it's all manual. Fuel injection, no computers allowed in the cars. A lot of the motors these days are revving into the 9,000s. Our motor personally, we don't rev it that much, we rev it about 8,500. As you can see, the block and the heads have been lightened as much as they can, just trying to save as much weight as possible. Every little bit of weight counts in Speedway. The injectors going straight into the heads. On our motor also you can see that we've also got injectors go into the manifold as well. Helps change the way the fuel's atomised, optimises power. The cars have no gearbox, they're direct drive. They go through a universal straight through to the quick change diff. The cars are geared to the size of the track that you're running on, so it's either in gear or it's out of gear, and a push truck will start you, and once you're started you're racing. This chassis that we're running now we bought 2 years ago. We've had a lot of success with it. Last year we won the Western Springs Track Championship. Going to stick with it this season. We had a lot of luck with it, so it's going well. This year there'll be a lot of guys out there with some new cars, so they'll be pretty advanced. Trying to get traction on the dirt, there's a bit of a black science to it, so there's a lot of work and technology goes into trying to get the tyres to grip onto the dirt. But the Americans know how to do it pretty well, and we're picking it up well as well. On the quarter miles, we get up to 160 k's. That record around Western Springs is 11.7 seconds. Setup's really important, and especially if you can get the latest technology and latest shocks, you'll be doing well. If you get the setup wrong, you can be really struggling. The track will go quite dry, and then if you haven't got your setup on, you'll be wheel spinning and sliding off the corners and really struggling to keep up with the rest of the pack. The shocks simply are there to control the rate, but the torsions go from side to side. That twists, and that is your spring. The setup is mostly done with the stop. We can turn weight in and out of each stop, each corner, It'll give you, adjust your corner weights and adjust the handling. This actually would only be about 10 bolts, hold the entire front end in, so removing the front end, putting your one in, you can do it 10 or 15 minutes between heats. So the tyres on the cars are very, very soft, trying to get as much grip as I can on the dirt. There's different compounds for when the track gets dry. They'll have a harder compound, so it won't wear out as much. The tyres really are quite soft. Aluminium wheels, they're just on a simple spline, and you can change the spacing of the wheel in and out. It helps the different handling of the car. Because they go around one way, they've always got a bigger tyre on the right than the left. All the wings on the sprint cars are hydraulic, so you can move them back and forward as the race goes on. The wings are needed to keep them from end up in the fence, because they've got a lot of power and end up going quite fast down on the quarter miles. Most of the cars come with full containment seats, because when you have a crash in them, you don't want to be moving around too much. Keep your head in place as well as your shoulders, and you've got the wings for around your rib area. It's a 5-point harness, stops you from moving, as well as you have arm restraints on your arms to stop your arms from moving when you do flip. So the steering wheels on open wheel cars come off to make it a bit easier to get in and out. Put it on, push it in, and then it's stuck on and it can't come out. The Americans come over most years, and we've raced against them here in New Zealand, and I've been over to the States to race as well. I've recently just been racing in Australia and done a few events over there, won a few races over there, so hopefully that puts us in good stead for the New Zealand season.
Think about this, they're doing an 11-second quarter mile round a bend on dirt. That's mental. You have to see these things to believe them. And by the way, if you're a Western Springs resident who complains about the speedway, it's been there longer than you have, so get over it. November is Maguire's Car Care Month, and so they're offering a $10 rebate when you spend $50 or more on any Maguire's brand products during November. Go to maguires.co.nz to check out the details. Mopar, the motor parts brand that became a generic term to describe the muscle car trilogy of Dodge, Plymouth and Chrysler. Last week we took a first look at the All Mopar Day run at Meremere drag strip by Mopar Connection, a Wellington-based club whose members make the annual pilgrimage to Meremere for this All Mopar event.
It's a 1972 Plymouth Barracuda. It's running a 360 727 trans. Originally it was a 318 car. It's always been a V8. These are pretty cool, you know, like you're driving down the motorway and you've got people hanging out the window waving to you and looking at you and that sort of thing, because you just don't see them every day of the week. So it's got nice shape going on. So yeah, I like it. Nice two-door thing.
This is a 1956 Kingsway Dodge, and I love them. Oh, they're loud, they're fast, and they're just a bomb. Come down, people, and enjoy it, Mopar. I wouldn't swap it for $1 million. This one is much better to look at than today's rides over there. Seeing all these old classics, these Mopar rides, brings back a lot of memories from when this old baby used to drag down the strip.
And having some fun down the strip was what the day was all about. Check out this mean black 72 Duster.